men are not playing any games. The days and times of women being able to finesse a man out of his money, out of his time, out of a meal, oh, baby, that's done. That's over. For crying out loud, a man can genuinely want to get to know you, establish something with you, and lo and behold, you just like this girl right here, looking for something to eat. Well, y'all know what's happening now, ladies? Now that the men have come to realize that, yeah, she don't like me. She's just hungry. They're leaving you right where you're at. Y'all like the video, share the video, and subscribe. We have some things to get into today, and y'all just won't believe this post that this woman shared with the World Wide Web. And the joke was really on her. Like, she really just exposed herself. And ladies, for the life of me, I don't understand why we feel like we again are the victims when, no, ma'am, you're the perpetrator. You're the one that is inflicting this very harm upon yourself. Okay, you did this, not him. All he did was react and respond to your behaviors, your conduct, your treatment. That's it. But I'm going to share this with you all. It's a little bit bizarre, but nevertheless, I would love to see, what you all's opinion is about this. Okay, so this one right here, she decided to post on social media about this guy who pretty much dumped her and left her with the bill and the meal because she didn't have any, I don't know, couth. She didn't know how to really conduct herself like a lady. And, a man today, he is looking for a lady. All right. I need me a woman that is going to be respectful, that is going to have class and decency. And if you in any way, shape, or form display any type of characteristic that is opposing that or is in opposition to that, yeah, like I said earlier, men not playing no games, and he will leave you. Okay. Step your game up, ladies. Step your game up. But it says, woman reveals her date ditched her in the middle of dinner because she didn't know how to eat a steak correctly. Now, just off first glance, you all, this took me aback because let these women tell it, they are the most high value, classy, beautiful, top of the line women in the world. Yet a man is leaving you and dumping you because you are eating a steak like the hyena that you are. But let's get into it, you all. Again, get the likes up. All right. So this woman, she makes this status and she says this: I finally let this guy take me out after he stayed in my DMs, begging for a chance just for him to play in my face and walk out on me at the restaurant. She puts the eye rolls. She says, if y'all men can't afford to take women out, stop begging for dates. It's sad he had to come up with a lame excuse just to leave me stuck with a bill I couldn't even afford. Now, I'm going to put a pin right there before I continue and say this, okay? Because I got a lot of questions. Ma'am, with y'all being so high value, so luxury life and soft life living, how is it that you could not afford the very meal that this man took you out on a date to get? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of women say, well, if I can do it for myself, a man better be able to do it just as good as I am. You, ma'ams, cannot even provide yourself or afford yourself with certain things that you are placing upon these men, right? Don't we always say, oh, I can do better all by myself? Well, it's looking like you are. Okay, it's looking like you are. And another thing, This is what a lot of women do, and this is why a lot of men are done playing games with y'all. If y'all peep game on her first opening sentence, she says, I finally let this guy take me out after he stayed in my DMs begging for a chance for me to go out with him, whatever. Now, fellas, I want to say this and make this abundantly clear. A lot of you all may already be aware, but in case you are a young man and maybe you are not, let me put y'all up on a little bit of game. If you have to constantly beg a woman, plead with a woman, she's leaving you on red, she's not responding, leave her alone. She don't want you. She's not interested. And if she just so happens to respond to you, you gotta know it's because she needs something. You gotta know it's because she is looking to utilize you for whatever need that she needs fulfilled at that moment. So please, stop doing that. All right. And like I said, a lot of y'all can already know that because we can clearly see a lot of men are done even dating. So yeah, we know. But in case you are a young man or a man that is still in search for a woman, that is a telltale sign that she's not it. Okay? Because the woman who likes you, she's going to show it and you're going to know it. But let's continue. Y'all like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right? She goes on to say, and the crazy part, his issue was me not knowing how to eat a steak. Ma'am, I thought y'all was so poised, classy, luxurious. So you exposing this about yourself? I'm gonna be honest, I would have been embarrassed. I wouldn't have posted this. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have posted this because you exposed yourself for being somebody that was not that ladylike. And you a grown woman. You don't know how to get a steak knife. You don't know how to get a fork. I'm a whole vegan and I know how to eat a damn steak. I know you're not supposed to just grab that mug up and like, what are you doing? But again, y'all the high value, luxury life, soft life women. And a man dumped you because you didn't know how to properly cut up a damn piece of meat. Pause. Let's continue. It says, like, be for real. As a man, it's your job to teach me, not embarrass me. So not only is he baroque, but he's lacking masculinity too. I'm exposing him because the world needs to know how he did me. 100. Now I got a question before I continue. And y'all, again, like, share, comment, and subscribe. We got to expose this. Ladies, y'all keep exposing yourselves. Y'all are living fraudulent. Talking about you so high value and classy and poised, and you don't know how to get a damn knife. Okay, now I got a question, y'all, before we continue, because it does get worse. I want you all right now to place a 2 in the chat if you feel like the man was wrong for leaving her in the dust on the first date, all because she didn't know how to eat a steak. Put a 2 if you like that man was wrong. You don't do that. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like, he was well within his right to do that. Because let's reverse it around. If a woman was on a date with a man and he did something that she didn't like, she probably would have disrespected him, left, called an Uber, whatever, cursed him out. Who knows? Belittled him, emasculated him. Put a 1 if you feel like, he is well within his right. He did the right thing. I need y'all to answer that first before we continue. All right, I'm going to give y'all a second, and then I'm going to tell y'all how I feel about it. Okay. Y'all got the 2s and 1s? Okay, so my opinion about that man doing this, I'm going to be real, like I always am. I feel like that was a little bit tacky. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she could have been eating like a hyena, but maybe just not call her back after the date. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were that turned off, you just should have told her after the date, like, you know what? Or you could have just ghosted her. You ain't got to tell her nothing. Y'all know women love ghosting women anyway. You know, so you could have just ghosted her, like, okay, that's a hyena eater. We not going to deal with her after the fact. But, you know, just leaving her like that, I feel like that was a little bit wrong. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my 2. Or was it a 1? I don't remember. But whatever I said, I'll put it in the chat. But yeah, I didn't agree with that. Now, as we continue, though, I want to get y'all's opinion on this woman. Okay. Now, y'all see how she eating that damn steak. Very much so giving Wild Animal Kingdom. Okay. It is giving that. And he has his right to be turned off. Okay, fellas, I'm not taking away y'all's right to be turned off and be like, oh, I'm disgusted. That's cool. But you didn't have to leave her like that, bro. Come on now. All right. But let's continue. So she exposes the text messages. And this is what was said. All right. She texts him and she asks him, hey, are you okay? You've been gone from the table like 10 minutes. He texts her back and says, I left. Whoopsie. So I guess this is the exchange that she had with him while she was waiting at the restaurant. I guess he had left to go to the restroom. He never came back. So she texts him like, where you at? He said, I left. She says, what you mean you left? You haven't even paid and you said you were going to the bathroom. He says, I paid for my food. She responds and she says, dude, what the fuck? I hope this is a joke. He says, the joke is you a woman that's almost 40, picking up a steak and biting it like you're an animal. Lord have mercy. He says, you're embarrassing and classless, and I hate I ever hopped in your DM. You're nothing like you appear on the internet. Now pause. Now I'm going to be real with y'all. I didn't read all of this. I just kind of skimmed through. So with that being said, although I don't agree with him leaving her like that, I kind of sort of could understand because he probably was really, really embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Like, ladies, I know y'all watch me from the clouds and the bushes. Let me just put this into the perspective to where we could receive this. Let's say you go out on a first date with a guy, right? And y'all are at a very upscale restaurant or whatever the case may be. You know, it could be a regular restaurant. Who cares? But on this date, he's loud and obnoxious and he cursing and, you know, he just being very off the chain. You probably would say, hold on, sir, I'm going to go powder my nose. Wait a minute. Is that a reference to doing some sniffy? I hope not. I'm talking about makeup, okay? But let's say that he's doing all of that and you like, you know what, this is a little bit much for me. This is embarrassing. Ladies, y'all know doggone well, you probably would have said, excuse me, I'm going to go to the restroom, powder my nose or take a little tinkle. I'll be right back. And then, you know, you outside calling your Uber because hell no, this man is embarrassing me. He loud, everybody looking at us like, oh my God, like, please. And on social media, he's wearing tuxedos and ties and, you know, he's on private jets and whatever. Who knows? You know, his online presence is just completely different than this loud, obnoxious, off the chain, over the top, you know, disrespectful type of guy. Like, what? You probably would have left him. You would leave him too, sis. A lot of y'all have. And now the tables are reversing and the men leaving y'all and then explaining to y'all later what had happened. You know how y'all do to men. Okay. So while I do hold that thing against that man for leaving that woman, you know, I'm gonna hold that against him. I do kind of sort of understand because, it probably people looking at her like, looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? So that could be embarrassing. But anyway, something else I want to highlight while y'all get my likes up is that he said, you're nothing like you appear to be on the internet. Men are also peeping the game that how you ladies present yourselves and the facade and lifestyles that y'all give off on social media are completely different and a complete fabrication. Also, that you can potentially reel in a certain type of man. And then after the fact, he finds out the hard way that, man, she's not anything like this classy, beautiful, ladylike female that she presents on social media. She's nothing like this soft-spoken, loving, caring, nurturing type of energy. Like, what? It's a complete and total different ball game. And so I didn't read that part, but I do feel like it is highlight worthy because women all across the board are exposing themselves for being fake. Y'all present these images on social media of you living this soft luxury life so that men can buy into it, think that he's getting some sophisticated, classy woman, or the flip side to y'all living this facade is so that a man can feel like, oh, I need to be able to provide her this level or this standard of living if I want to talk to her. And y'all ladies do that as, again, a tactic to get a man to pretty much give to you the luxury life that you seemingly are giving to yourself. But here's the catch, ladies. Men are saying that you don't really live like that. You don't really act like that. And they're leaving y'all where y'all are. Going all the games, ladies. The games are over. And once a man sees that you are fake and fraudulent in any way, they cut it off because you know why? Those fake, fraudulent behaviors and lifestyles and facades and all of that, they expose a deeper issue. And that deeper issue is down the line, more and more things that are untrue about her may become exposed and present themselves. And I don't want to get, intertwined with any more of that. Because if she's presenting this, but then in person she's completely different, I can only imagine what I can potentially be walking into in the future if I decide to take this woman seriously and we get more deeply involved. Like, what else is she lying about? What else is she faking about? Let me remove myself before I find out the hard way. Men are doing that today. Men are not taking any chances. So any little sign of you being a fake, you're out of there. Whoopsie. Y'all let me know if y'all agree with that or disagree, but let's continue. All right. She responds and she says, Ninja, I only allowed you to take me on this date so I can get a meal. Dang. This is why men are done. This is why men don't take y'all on. This is why they leave y'all at the damn restaurant. This is why you don't ever even get to go to the restaurant, because men caught on to this. Then when they finally do take you out and give you a chance, you're eating like a hyena. She goes on to say, ain't no way you're playing in my face like this. A real man would have shown me how to properly eat the steak. If you're broke and can't afford me, you shouldn't have took me on the date. I don't have the money for this food. You need to cash out me. Now, ma'am, I don't know if you realize that you just completely contradicted yourself, but you just said he was broke and can't afford you, but then said, I can't afford this food and I ain't got the money for this, so you need to pay for it. Ladies, how are y'all saying that again? Y'all are high value, you high maintenance, and you are this luxury life, bossed up female, right? And you're able to afford yourself certain luxuries. And so if a man can't do such a thing, then he's disqualified. And lo and behold, ma'am, you can't afford you. Whoopsie. You trying to clown him, talking about you can't afford me. Ma'am, you can't afford you. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. Now again, sis, I'm on your side when it comes to him leaving you there like that. That was a little bit much. That was kind of wrong. He should have just let you eat that food, hurried up, and left. Okay, he could have did that. But at the end of the day, I mean, can I really feel sorry for you when you are pretty much telling on yourself that, yeah, I only was going out with you in the first place because I was hungry and I didn't have no money and I needed something to eat. So now I can't even completely feel sorry for you because you just exposed yourself for being a gold digging leech. So I'm kind of happy that he left you. He wouldn't have saw you again anyway until you was hungry for a steak again. Anyway, he responds and he says, Shawty, you got your meal. You just got to pay for it. Be blessed. Big rabbit teeth. Ho. That was funny. I'm sorry. That was a little bit funny. Was he wrong? Yes. Was it funny? Yes. And they're coming through in the comments. This person responded and they said, don't ever go anywhere without being able to take care of yourself. And see, that's what I'm talking about, ladies. Y'all are placing all of these standards and expectations on these men when in all actuality, you couldn't even do a fraction of what you're expecting for him to do for yourself. Okay, so step your game up. Y'all be doing a lot of fronting and faking. Another person says, she admitted that she only went out on the date for a meal. So in hindsight, he could do no wrong. And you know what, ladies? That right there is what makes it very difficult for people to feel sorry for you, take your side. You know what I mean? Like me, myself, I do feel like that was wrong of him to leave you at that restaurant alone. That wasn't right. He could have just ghosted you later. But when you come through and you admit things like this, it makes it seem like it was justified. You know, like he probably wouldn't have even saw you again or heard from you again anyway until you got hungry and craved another steak. Just ridiculous. But another person says, funny how someone who can't afford their own meal calling a man broke. Uh-oh. Now you got the ladies coming through checking you too. This lady says, girl, you are almost 40. It is not his responsibility to teach you how to eat a steak, ma'am. Where is your mama or your parents or who raised you? How dare you put that responsibility on him and you 40? Girl, at this point, go to YouTube and learn. And you know what? It's a lot of things you can learn from YouTube, especially over here on Danica Marie Dope Discussions. But it was a man that came through and he wanted to pretty much give his thoughts and his opinions and his feelings on how a lot of women do try to get over on men on the first date. And he finds it to be something that is extremely unfair because a lot of men do take out a lot of their time and energy and effort to put into these first dates to try to get to know this woman that he finds interest in. And come to find out, a lot of these women are just, being users. So let's run this clip, and I would love to know how many of you all do agree with what he has to say. Let's run the clip.
Men go out on dates with women that they genuinely like and are attracted to. Women go out on dates with men to get a free meal. Now, is this every woman? No, not at all. There are a lot of great women out there. But nowadays in society, this is why men don't even feel as though they want to take a woman out for a dinner the first date, because they don't know if the woman genuinely likes that guy, or are you just using me to get a free meal? Now, on the flip side, does this also mean that every guy that asks you out is a great guy? No, not at all as well. Like, some guys have ulterior motives. Some guys just want to try to hit. But 9 times out of 10, if a man is asking you out on a date, it's because he has some kind of genuine interest in you. These are definitely some tricky times we live in, man, for sure. And this is also why you see a lot of men that do not want to do dinner dates on the first date. And we can argue both sides all day, I'm sure. And there's a lot of women who may disagree. But nowadays, in general, you just have to be careful about who you give your time to. You feel me?
Put a 2 in the chat if y'all agree with what this brother had to say. I'm trying to see something. I'm going to be honest with you. Like you said, 9 times out of 10, if a man is putting in the effort, the time, the energy, the money, to take a woman out, that is because he does find some kind of value in her that he's trying to explore further. And it is a crying shame that so many women will take advantage of that guy or take for granted what this guy is doing for her. And in the end, be left stuck on stupid, looking stupid, left to the streets because they keep on fumbling good quality men who are taking the time out to try to establish something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to drop a 2 in the chat because I do agree with him. Unfortunately, there are a lot of using type females that are just looking for something to do at that time or something to eat at that time. And they are not trying to get to know that man and have any kind of real relationship with him outside of him being her meal buddy. Okay. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts, opinions, and feedback about this in the comment section down below. Are you a guy that is done with dinner dates? Are you a guy that is done with dates altogether? Or do you still take women on dates, but for the first date, you try to make it something that is not so over the top or extreme and intimate? Like you have some kind of environment to where you all can just really talk and connect. Y'all let me know. All right. But like the video, share the video, subscribe. Ladies, please stop doing things like this. All right. And then getting upset. Have some class. That way these men don't leave you at the restaurant. All right. And stop using men that are of quality. All right. But I'm going to see y'all in the next dope discussion. Much love and peace to my crown heads.